No gun, no fun, you're done. Are you looking for a long-range weapon option in Warzone right now, but having a tough time figuring out what to use? Stay tuned, we're going to walk through some of the top options right now in Warzone and class setups for all of them, so let's check them out. So number 7 is the Cooper Carbine, a very easy to use AR. It doesn't hit incredibly hard, but it's very easy to use. The TTK could definitely be faster, but in terms of ease of use, it couldn't really get easier. All right, so the loadout options on this one are going to be the MX silencer on the muzzle. This is going to obviously give us sound suppression to stay off the mini-map. It's going to give us horizontal and vertical recoil control, as well as help out with our damage range, which is great. For the barrel option, we're going to go with the 22-inch Cooper Custom. This is also going to help us with our recoil control, increase our fire rate a little bit, and also further increase our damage range. The optic, we're going to go for the 2.5x. Obviously, you can change this around to really what you prefer. I know some people like rocking the SVT40 PU scope 3 to 6x. This one is preference. As for stock, we're going to go with the Cooper 45W. This is also going to give us more recoil control, helps this gun become an even more laser beam than it already is. For our perks, we're going to go with Tight Grip for perk number 1. This is going to help us out with our recoil control. Again, see a pattern. Perk number 2, this is really going to be, again, personal preference. I go with fully loaded just to give myself full ammunition upon picking this out of my loadout. Other people might go for on hand, giving them increased equipment dexterity, weapons swapping speed, all that kind of stuff. So this one's up to you. Rear grip, you're going to go with polymer. You can go with rubber grip if you're trying to get to polymer and level it up. I also see some people use stippled grip at times, but polymer is really what you want to go with. Magazine, we're going to be rocking the 9mm 60 round drums. This is going to give us more recoil control and accuracy, as well as increased magazine capacity. Ammunition, we're going to go with lengthened, again giving us more bullet velocity, so this gun needs that. It doesn't hit that hard, so you want to extend that damage. And then for the underbarrel, we're going to go with the hand stop, giving us recoil control and accuracy. If you have not unlocked that yet, you can rock the Carver foregrip, which will do a lot of the same things and help out. Not so much in the accuracy department, but will help out with recoil control, and it's a good option until you unlock the hand stop. All right, so we're going to move on to number 6 on this list, which is going to be the Automaton. As I said before, this and the Cooper, they do not do the most damage possible. They have relative slow TTKs. However, they're easy to use. So if you're looking for a laser beam assault rifle over long range, these are your 2 best options. So for the muzzle, we're going to do MX silencer once again for the same reasons we had on the Cooper. For the barrel, we're going to choose our long-range option here, the ZAC 600mm BFA. This gives us more accuracy and, again, more control for those long ranges. Optic, same story with the Cooper Carbine as it is for the Automaton here. I've choose the 2.5x, but you can really, have personal preference on this option here. Stock, you're going to want to run the Anastasia padded. Again, this helps out with recoil control and also has some help with flinch. So if you're getting shot, your gun doesn't go so far up in the air that you can't get back on target. This will help with that. Perks, again, tight grip, just for more recoil control. Perk 2, fully loaded, again, is what I choose, but you can also use surplus if you're looking to level it, or on hand for equipment dexterity. This one's a little bit more of personal preference as well. You're going to want to use polymer grip for your rear grip. All right, magazine, you're going to want to use the 6.5mm Sakura 75 round drum. This is going to increase your magazine capacity. Ammunition, lengthened, again, increased bullet velocity just for the same reasons as the Cooper Carbine. And hand stop, again, that's the best option, but if you don't have that yet, Carver foregrip is the way to go. All right, so now we're going to get to the 5th and 4th options. So number 5 is the XM4. Obviously, this gun has received a few nerfs recently, but it's still a really good option for long range. I will say, however, if you did use the XM4 for short range engagements, like a sniper support or something, there are better options for that now, but for mid to long range, it's still a good option. So we're going to go with the agency suppressor for the muzzle option. This again giving us more recoil control, sound suppression staying off the minimap, and bullet velocity. Barrel, 13.5-inch task force, more recoil control, more bullet velocity, more damage range, just extending the impact of your bullets over a further distance. Optic, I go with the axial arms 3 times. This one's also preference, but this is going to be your most common. Magazine, I go with the 60 round mag. Again, this is for long range engagements. You can go with the 45 round if you want to get a little bit more reload quickness, but the 60 round for a lot of the traditional battle royale modes, especially quads, is going to be where it's at. Underbarrel, I go with the Field Agent Grip. This gives us the most recoil control. This again is the standard Cold War meta long-range assault rifle build. So XM4. Number 4 is the Vargo 52. Much like the XM4, it's still very viable. Takes a little bit getting used to the recoil pattern, but it's somewhat similar to the XM4 actually in that regard. So if you like the XM4, it might be worth trying out the Vargo. I think it has a little bit better of a TTK, so this is an option that you might want to explore. Pretty much the same setup as the XM4 as well. We're going with the muzzle option of the GRU suppressor. The barrel is going to be the 18.6-inch task force. Optic, again, the 3X. Magazine, we're going with the 60 rounds again for more ammo capacity. And then underbarrel Spetsnaz grip. This is much like the Field Agent grip. This is going to give you the most recoil control possible. Number 3, we've got the BAR. Now, I don't have all of the attachments unlocked for the BAR that are the meta attachments, but I'll walk you through what those might be. So for the muzzle, you do want the MX silencer. This is going to give you the most recoil control as well as increase your damage range, of course, while staying off the minimap. For the barrel, you want the CGC 30-inch XL. This is the recoil control and long-range barrel option that you really want to look for. Also gives you more bullet velocity. For the optic, I would go with the 2.5x, or you can do the 3 to 6x scope that we had pulled up earlier for the Cooper Carbine. For the stock, I don't have this unlocked yet, but you're going to want to go with the Pistol Grip Custom, which I believe is level 68. This is going to give you the most recoil control to help alleviate the bounce of the BAR vertically. And then for the perks, for perk 1, you're going to want to go with hard scope. This is going to help out even more with your recoil control to help make those long distance engagements and staying on your target even easier over long range. For perk number 2, I should probably go with surplus, honestly, because you can get increased kill XP to help level the weapon faster. So fully loaded, on hand, which is going to give you increased equipment dexterity. This weapon is a little bit bigger, it's a little bit slower for your movement speed, so that is probably a good option. For your grip, right now I'm just using rubber grip. You can use stippled grip for initial firing recoil assistance. I think that's unlocked at 61 or 67. Polymer grip is also another good option that gives you more recoil control during sustained fire, and I believe that one's unlocked at level 48. As for your magazine, the 8mm Clauser 40 round mag is going to be your best bet here. This gives you a little bit more recoil control, movement speed, helps with your ADS. Again, it's a little bit slower of a weapon, so those things are pluses and advantages that you want to try to tap into. For ammunition, you want lengthened. As you can see, I don't have that unlocked yet. And then for the underbarrel, hand stop, which I believe is level 70 on this weapon, is going to be what you want to equip. I'm using the Carver foregrip right now. It's the second best option for recoil control in the underbarrel attachment section. And that brings us to number 2, which is going to be the STG-44. So for this, we're going to have some of the similar attachments to the other Vanguard weapons. The MX silencer for the muzzle, recoil control, and bullet velocity. The barrel, we're going with the VDD 760mm 05B. This is the accuracy oriented and control oriented barrel option for the STG. For the optic, we're going with the SVT-40 PU scope 3 to 6 times, which is what we've talked about on some of the other Vanguard weapons. I feel as if it decreases the amount of visual recoil that this weapon has, and it's a great option for this gun. For the stock, I go with the VDD 34S weighted, again for recoil control, and also helps out with that flinch resistance that I mentioned earlier on the Automaton. Magazine, you're going to want to go with either the 7.62 Grenko 50 round magazine. This would be a little bit easier to use, make this gun definitely a laser beam at longer ranges. and increase your fire rate and ADS speed, or if you want more damage and increase your TTK, you can use the 8mm Kurz 60-round drum mag. It's really not that difficult to use. You get a little bit more visual recoil, but if you use these other recoil-oriented attachments, it helps cut that down a lot, and the gun is really still usable, especially for higher skilled players. However, if that is a little bit too much, play around, test it out, use the 7.62 Grenko 50-round mag. You'll love it. Ammunition, we're going to go with lengthened for increased bullet velocity, and underbarrel, again, we're going with the hand stop, which is the best recoil control and accuracy-oriented underbarrel attachment. If you don't have that yet, or while you're unlocking it, you can go with the Carver foregrip as well. All right, so on to the last option, which is the best option for Warzone right now. And the reason is because of a recent buff that this weapon got. JGod just put out a video on this weapon very recently, I think today. And if you haven't checked that out, I will leave a link down in the description below. He goes into all of the numbers and data crunching that he does so well, but we'll check it out here. And that is the NZ41. So for a long time, I think some people, fans of this weapon, have been waiting for these kinds of changes, but it got increased buff to its long-range damage output, as well as buffs to its recoil pattern. It has lessened, the intensity has lessened, so it's easier to control, and the TTK is very good. So starting with the muzzle, we're going with the MX silencer once again for all the same reasons. For the barrel, we're going with the LOR MK1 burst, and this has a toggle option for either burst fire or full auto fire, and you're going to want to toggle it to full auto. The optic, a 2.5x, I think is going to be pretty typical for this, but again, personal preference. And then for stock, I don't have it unlocked yet. You can unlock it at level 53, but it's called the Orb Weaver E-Pack, and this is going to help with your flinch resistance, just as it did on the Automaton, and this is also going to help with your recoil control over sustained fire periods. For perk, you're going to want to use Brace, which is going to help out with your initial firing recoil. Perk 2, again, this is going to be up to you and personal preference. I am going with Surplus right now because, as you can tell, I've got some leveling up to do for this weapon. For the rear grip, JGod recommends the hatched grip, and you'll see that in his video. That's going to help with your horizontal recoil. If you still find yourself struggling, though, with the vertical recoil control, the rubber grip or the polymer grip are still going to be good options. All right, so for magazine, you're going to want to use what you unlock, of course, all the way at the end of this weapons level progression, which is the Sakura magazine at level 69. It's going to give you an increased fire rate, making this weapon a little bit more forgiving, but it's going to increase your recoil control, minimize your damage a little bit, but it's going to make this weapon definitely viable for you. For ammunition, lengthened for bullet velocity over long distance. And then under barrel, right now I'm using the Carver because I don't have the hand stop unlocked. Of course, that is level 70 on this weapon. So use the Carver in the meantime while you are leveling this weapon, and that'll be good for you. And that's it for today, guys. Just a quick video to give you an idea of what's meta right now in Warzone, and if you're having trouble finding long-range options for weapons to use, give these a try. Let me know what works for you down in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Be well, be yourself, and I'll see you soon.